Friends, gather round, for the year is 2025 and the trade war drums are beating once more. Our protagonist, you ask? None other than the tariff-happy tweeter himself, Donald J. Trump. That's right, folks, he's back. And this time he's brought tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China. Now you might be thinking, John, tariffs? In this economy? Hasn't he learned his lesson? And to that I say, my friend, you'd think so, wouldn't you? But alas, logic and reason left the White House years ago, and in their place, we have a 25% tariff on goods from Canada and Mexico. Oh, and did I mention the 10% tariff on Canadian energy? Because, nothing says friendly neighbor like slapping a tax on the stuff that keeps your lights on, and just for good measure, he threw in an extra 10% on Chinese goods, for balance. So, what's the justification for this economic blitzkrieg, you ask? Well, according to the former president, it's all about holding these countries accountable for illegal immigration and drug trafficking. Because apparently the best way to address complex geopolitical issues is to slap a tax on maple syrup and avocados. Who knew? Now, you don't need a degree in international relations to know that when you start a trade war, the other guys tend to fight back, and fight back they did. Canada and Mexico, clearly not amused by Trump's economic antics, retaliated with tariffs of their own on a range of U.S. goods. Canada, known for its politeness, decided to teach Trump a lesson in passive aggression by targeting goods from states that voted for him, because nothing says we're disappointed in you like a tariff on Wisconsin cheese curds. Mexico, on the other hand, went straight for the jugular, targeting agricultural products from key Republican states. It seems tequila and tacos may be off the menu for some Trump supporters. China, never one to be outdone, decided to take the high road, relatively speaking, and filed a lawsuit with the World Trade Organization. Because, let's face it, when you're dealing with Trump, sometimes the only way to get through to him is through international legal action. So, the stage is set, the battle lines are drawn, and the trade war is officially on. But the real question is, who will blink first? And more importantly, who will be left footing the bill for this economic game of chicken? Stay tuned, folks, it's going to be a bumpy ride. Now, for those of you keeping score at home, starting a trade war with your closest trading partners is generally considered a bad idea. Why? Well, for starters, it tends to make everything more expensive. And by everything, I mean everything. The Tax Foundation, those killjoys of economic reality, projected that these tariffs could cost each U.S. household over $830 per year. That's right, folks. For the low price of $830, you too can participate in Trump's trade war. But wait, there's more. These tariffs aren't just going to increase the price of your imported goods. Oh no, they're also going to drive up the cost of domestic products. Why? Because when you reduce competition, companies can charge whatever they want. It's basic economics, folks. So, what does this mean for the average American? Well, get ready to pay more for everything from cars and appliances to groceries and clothing. And the worst part, it's all completely avoidable. But hey, at least we're sticking it to Canada and Mexico, right? Now, you might be wondering, how did the architect of this economic masterpiece respond to the news that American families are going to be paying more for, well, everything? Did he express regret? Did he offer solutions? Did he finally admit that maybe, just maybe, starting a trade war wasn't the best idea? Well, if you answered yes to any of those questions, then you clearly haven't been paying attention for the last, 7 years. In response to concerns about rising prices, Trump, in a move that can only be described as peak Trump, admitted that the tariffs may cause some pain, but insisted it would be worth the price. Because, what's a little economic hardship when you're winning? And if that wasn't enough, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, clearly taking a page from her boss's playbook, also acknowledged the potential for price increases but blamed it on other countries for not complying with Trump's demands. Because, remember folks, in Trump's America, it's always someone else's fault. Always. Section 5, From Perplexed to Peeved, Canada's Response. Meanwhile, up north in the Great White North, our Canadian friends were left scratching their heads in a mixture of confusion and amusement. What did we do? They seemed to be asking. We sent you Celine Dion, Ryan Reynolds, and Poutine. What more could you possibly want? Canadian officials, known for their diplomatic prowess, expressed perplexity over the tariffs, questioning what more they could possibly do to appease the tariff-wielding man-child to the south. After all, Canada has always been a reliable ally, a steadfast trading partner, and dare I say, a pretty great neighbor, but Trump's tariffs were a step too far even for the Canadians. And so, they did what any self-respecting nation would do: they fought back. Canadian provinces took individual actions like removing American alcohol from store shelves. Because nothing says you want to play hardball? Fine. No more bourbon for you, like a good old-fashioned liquor ban. Section 6, Mexico bites back. A southern neighbor's rebuke. South of the border, the reaction to Trump's tariffs was a mix of anger and defiance. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, never one to mince words, called out Trump's accusations of Mexico's alleged alliance with drug cartels as baseless and offensive. Sheinbaum promised swift and decisive countermeasures, vowing to protect Mexican businesses and consumers from the economic fallout of Trump's trade war. "We will not be bullied," she declared. "We will not stand idly by while our economy is attacked." And with that, Mexico joined Canada in the tariff tit-for-tat, targeting American goods with surgical precision. From agricultural products to manufactured goods, Mexico's message was clear. You want a trade war? We'll give you a trade war. Section 7. Businesses cry foul, the unseen costs of the trade war. While Trump and his administration continued to tout the supposed benefits of his trade war, the business community was sounding the alarm bells. From small businesses to multinational corporations, the message was clear. These tariffs are bad for business, bad for the economy, and bad for America. Business groups criticized the tariffs, predicting higher prices for consumers, disruptions to supply chains, and job losses across a range of industries. They argued that the tariffs would hurt American businesses and consumers far more than they would hurt Canada, Mexico, or China. "This is economic insanity," declared the CEO of a major manufacturing company. "These tariffs will cost us jobs, raise prices for consumers, and make American businesses less competitive globally." But as usual, Trump seemed unfazed by the concerns of the business community, dismissing their warnings as fake news and accusing them of not understanding his brilliant economic strategy. Section 8. The Future of Free Trade. A World on the Brink. As the trade war raged on, the future of free trade and international cooperation hung in the balance. Trump's tariffs had created a climate of uncertainty and distrust, threatening to unravel decades of progress in global trade relations. Some experts warned that Trump's actions could lead to a full-blown trade war, with devastating consequences for the global economy. Others held out hope that cooler heads would prevail, and that a negotiated solution could still be found. But one thing was certain: Trump's tariffs had upended the global trade order, leaving a legacy of uncertainty and instability in their wake. The world watched with bated breath, waiting to see what the ultimate cost of Trump's trade war would be. Stay informed on this evolving story. Subscribe and follow for more updates on global trade and economic news.